Well,
yeah,
she's profited directly from this.
it's true.
She's aiding and abetting necromancy, and necromancy is a crime.
If your people weren't so lazy, you wouldn't be in this situation. So I would say, as one who
a common
has lands
passerby
of my own, that you should work the field yourselves and perhaps find some way to bring new living people into your settlement.
Well, I think it's Raphis is probably the most applicable. That you're all under arrest. We're going to demolish this township. We're going to relocate you back to probably Three Corners Fort, where you can be tried for your crimes, and you won't at least starve to death under the folly of the.
I mean,
what you've done.
Love all, like, her confessions. Like, where the bodies come from? Well, that's not my problem. I just profit from it. It's like, yeah, listen, that's not how this works. Because the necromancer is just waiting for you to become a body. All right.
As the man without authority here, though, I would like to entreat upon her where she says, like, she's done talking and go, I can sense perhaps your problem is similar to other lands that your young people have either gone astray or been taken off to war. And I happen to know of a large number of young, disenfranchised individuals who have had their homes ripped from them and would be more than happy to perhaps return to a stable line of work. There are solutions out there for you, and I am here to provide them. And if you were willing to work with us more closely, we can help your town better than your current patrons.
So you're the good cop.
I'm the good cop to the I'm disenfranchising your whole town on Gar's side.
Well, I mean,
good cop, bad cop.
I
you
also
can give me the assist.
I want to point out I don't think I'm bad cop in this because I also think relocating them anywhere else behind the what do we call this area?
You're the literally correct cop. Then.
The Gold Shore,
the Dust Bowl that this place is. That you have to wear a mask not to choke to death to be around here.
I mean, it's necromancy, but is it really that bad? Like,
I've accused them. Look, I've stood on the correct ground of this town is done. You all are criminals, and we're putting you to judgment.
Well, if she's under arrest, then Elaine, I'm going to have to disarm you and take you into custody.
Right.
I have no arms.
That makes that part easier.
I suppose this is the part where Elaine maybe has a choice between either changing the entire nature of the town or sticking to what her current deal is and trying to fight against that. I think that's the position she's in for a response here.
I mean, she's also a skunk. She could just blast us and leave.
I mean,
exactly. That would be the latter.
That would be the worst case.
There's other issues as well in that she really has very little power. Like, first of all, when Adras made his declaration, he just kind of stands there, mouth agape, because by the law of the land, he's not wrong. He can, or even if he doesn't have the authority, he's certainly such. She has no way of that. So as far as she knows, he's nobility. He could bulldoze her whole town if he wanted to. Also, it's not really her town. She's the librarian. So she's not really in a position to be like,
she's the
we got right, mister.
Representative now.
Right? But she's sitting there going like, I am just a peasant. My fate is in your hands. Your gang, your armored soldiers can do what they will with me, and with the townsfolk, it matters not. Ultimately, if you're evicting us, then fine, I will go with you. I have no recourse otherwise. However, I will say that the true authority in my all of my learning has convinced me lies in strength of force. And I warn you that few individuals have an army that will never tire and will always fight through injury and sickness and pain. And were I you, using your brutish tactics, I would think twice about challenging our town's patrons, for they are truly not to be trifled with.
I slow clap.
I've said my piece.
I slow clap because Atris is like, man, of all the reactions I expected from you, doubling down was not the one I thought you were going to go with.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, these people are just bad news.
See, here's the problem, is that they're all implicitly in this. There's not a person in this town that I would think is not in on this.
Nope. She just threatened us of like, great. And we've let this thing run fallow for months. There could be an entire raging undead army in that wood.
Right. Though I am still not enthused to take the role of De La Vega and destroy a town because
you don't
we
have
can.
to. You remember how the town was described as an old west town?
It's kind of
literally there are ghost towns. We don't have to destroy it. We just have to get the people out of here and put them to judgment.
Well, so here's the tricky part. So we've got the problem where we got to decide where to go next, because if we go back to town, the townspeople hate us. We do have a posse. We've got 6, 9, 12. Okay, so we've got 15 people. And the irregulars, are they all able-bodied fighters, or are some of them not veterans?
I mean, they're all capable of fighting. Some of them aren't veterans, but
okay. Well, so we have like a dozen hard customers here. Okay, so we could put the town under arrest because out of like their town, which was how many people was it?
It wasn't very big, and most of them seem elderly or infirmed.
Right. So even if their town was like 3 or 5 times as much as us, we have weapons, and mostly you've seen in Ironclaw, the gift of veteran makes a huge difference. We're veterans, and they're not. However, the town would be hostile. The biggest problem would be, do we march off to the haunted woods to go deal with it ourselves, or do we wait for help to arrive? And the problem is, if we wait for help to arrive, that could take weeks, if not months, not to mention that we've got 1 semi-disgraced noble and 2 treasonous people in the party.
Yeah, that the help would be hostile to you. I think
we do know that they are coming to town, so we don't even have to go into the woods if we don't want to yet.
Well, the thing to do, I think, the plan of action, I think, would be to go handle the thing in the woods. And I believe that these elderly people are not going to scramble or set up any good defense of their own. We can come back and handle this later, at which point I, the undisgraced noble and relatively fine with being around here, can march these people to 3 corners myself and then rejoin you later to go handle going to get the Rinaldi sword from...
Right, well, I'm thinking, and whatever the evil is, it's necromancy. They don't come after you. They order their puppets to do it. If you kill their puppets, what do they care? More people are dying every day. Yeah, they're gonna make us go in there, which actually my advice would be, no, I think we have to go into the haunted woods. I think that's what we have to do.
Then in that case, let me pray. It is most likely between 9 and midnight at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and take 10 minutes to pray and regain consecration.
Well, that removes the consecration that's on the ground.
Right. At this point, the zombies are headed out. They're at least 100 paces away.
And were there more zombies than attacked us?
Presumably, I mean, these are farming fields. We're talking about acres and acres of farmland. So presumably there would be more than just the ones that showed up.
From Ellen's own accounting,
or
Elaine's own accounting, there's probably more. Great. I mean, that's good news. I mean, like, the doctor can make us safe against the low level. But once again, like, any apprentice necromancer can make undead go berserk, which negates terrified. So if the undead like hit the thing and become terrified, the necromancer can just say, well, you're all berserk now. Yeah,
the saving grace here is that these zombies are autonomous. They're designed to do a job in a field once night has fallen, and they're not... The whole idea is set it and forget it. You don't need someone watching over them.
Okay, wait. I've got a conversational question for Elaine. I know it's going to be real hard to get an answer out of her now, but... Elaine, you said we would be safe in the town. What makes the town safe?
Well, the contractors don't go there. In fact, as long as you stay out of the fields at night, everyone is safer than they would be at a normal town.
Right, but is there something in the town that's repelling them so they don't go into the town?
Only the word of our patrons.
Which I'm sure they will never take away at the last minute. Overrun the town with...
Well, I feel like I feel like I'm having like back and forth conversations with Winter, who's standing behind me, like.
Oh,
So, are you saying that they were commanded not to enter the town, or there is some sort of defense around the town?
No, she said they were commanded. She said that.
You said they were commanded, yeah. The word of our patrons.
Again, you don't understand that Gar is not smart about these things. I'm having conversations with my more knowledgeable sidekick and asking the obvious questions.
Ugh, it's like speaking with
and I have knowledge of necromancy. I know that's it's like, yeah, we just let this guy raise a tireless army that they could use, that I've just said could overcome anything. I'm sure they'll never attack us, though, because we're fine. They're just necromancy. The only thing they want are our bodies.
Alright, so order of operations. We handle the necromancer. We come back and arrest these people. I'll take them to justice and meet you guys at the thing. But first step, how to handle the necromancer who has clearly embedded himself or herself deep in the wood.
We should attack during the day because it's not that the...
Remember, Dust, whatever the hell it was called, to the point where they had to buy goggles. So I don't know if that...
goggles for all of you.
This whole area is like some sort of weird forest dust bowl. So...
Bizarre.
Yeah, so I don't know how much darkness is going to be a problem when we can't see to begin with.
Do you want to attack now?
Well, I'm just pointing out that I don't know that waiting is going to be much, and obviously they're now alerted, so the more time we give them, the more time they have to prepare.
I'm not sure they are. They're only traveling to town now during this festival.
Well, we also killed some of them, which may releases their spirits and may tell us say something.
But yeah, the more time that they have to be aware.
If you want to march now, you have my sword and my guns. Let us go.
Yeah, because otherwise we could be facing hundreds.
I mean,
these are your lands and your decisions.
We're all able-bodied. You managed to pray to get your consecration back. I think we, if you want to go now, we can go now. I'm with you.
Strike while the fire is hot.
You can illuminate. You have illumination, which will compensate for that. We have able-bodied. None of us took a hit. I agree. Let's do it.
Okay.
Into the woods.
Into the woods, and no delay.
We march with resolute purpose.
Okay.
Do we actually have the goal of deal with this stupid crap? We do.
You do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thwart the necromancer's plan.
Came around all the way out here. All right. So.
And is Colette among our number?
Yes.
Yes.
Colette is with
Good. Well, fetch Colette, because even though she may be disgraced, I assume that she still has access to it.
She's the one that came and got you guys.
Right.
Yeah, so she's with you because she came with you.
I don't see her on this map.
Yeah.
She's basically a non-combatant.
Well, she's like Sicario in that she exists, but not to be seen.
Right. Well, we need to fetch her because if she is as white magic is extra effective against the undead. So we're going to need that.
Good, and we should probably figure out what gifts she actually does have.
She's a badass. Remember, she stood down an entire raiding force by herself.
Yeah.
She was the head of an abbey. Undoubtedly, she was the best trained person there.
I mean,
how far that goes is questionable.
I would open up like the Book of Mysteries and just find, and just give her a priestly career, just make her elite and give her D8s and everything and stop. That's what I would do.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Everybody wants to be more complicated than that, but that's what I would do.
Well, you know what happens when you're going to do that? If we go for the Book of Mysteries route, that means she's just going to be able to take one hit meant for everybody. So when the necromancer hits us with that thing that kills everyone, Colette's going to die.
She totally has Lazarus heart, right?
I would be fine with the can take a hit for the entire team.
You don't have the
not
problem.
Exactly how Pillar of Light works. Pillar of Light is if it's a group attack and you resist, everyone resists.
Look, I just have that passing attachment that Hartman had, so it's hard to...
Yeah. No, it means if she resists, then everyone resists.
Yep.
The other power is you can join a group attack if you're not in it.
Cool.
Oh, right, and then become the lowest roller.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was to keep... If a smart-ass enemy wizard wanted to say, I'm just not going to include the priest because if they resist, everyone resists. You could throw yourself in the lot anyway. Because we figured that was more martyrdom. Yeah, I mean, but it's you could also choose Almoner. There's various ones you can pick. But I mean, at least she can recognize necromancy, and she can at least rally people, which is, I think, also important because the undead are really good at making you afraid.
Yeah, that's one.
And then they get a bonus D12 against you when you're afraid.
Yep.
So one of the policies is if you have a bunch of undead, you send a bunch of them in to surround you and guard. You have one guy scream at you, making a presence attack to try and make you afraid. Then the fourth guy charges in and destroys you because they have a huge tactics bonus and a D12 because you're afraid.
Yeah, I think actually the advantage on scared targets is a ghost thing. I'm looking in the typical stat block. I don't think it's in. No,
I think by default zombies are scary fighters. Scary fighter is a bonus D12.
Is that right?
That's what Scary Fighter is.
I mean, no, I believe you on Scary Fighter. I don't see it in the.
No, they're vengeful fighters.
They are vengeful fighters, and because they're always hurt, it means they're always getting advantages.
Yeah, skeletons and zombies don't have Scary Fighter.
Oh, they don't? Okay.
No, but
I realized that I had left myself on the exact page we needed when I was getting the whole thing.
They don't get it by default. You are right. You
but
you feel like being a jerk.
Well, the thing is, so far we've been dealing with. At least these guys in the fields are your typical basic bitch zombies, but you guys have fought a lot of undead creatures, and I've done little things here and there to make them more interesting and to level them up, and I will probably continue to do that, so you might be able to expect Scary Fighter in the future.
And even then, zombies usually have a pretty impressive...
none of the undead have Scary Fighter.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. I know we added that as a gift. I've noticed that I talk about overcomplicating things, but it's not that hard to add these blanket things to. That was something they were doing in D&D 3rd edition, and I noticed they stopped doing that in later editions because people like their one-stop monsters. Like D&D 5 doesn't even have templates anymore.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame, really.
Well, it's definitely like, as someone, maybe we're kind of crossing into the debrief. I was going to say, I think this is a good stopping point, right? But so I've been thinking a lot about this as someone who runs these games. I realize that there's a certain amount of like RAM that I have for like how much specific stat block detail I can keep in my head and generally aware of at any time. And some games tax that more than others. I love the crunch of this game. And I think there's something really cool. If you can attain system mastery in Ironclaw, it's kind of great because the gifts all have neat little rule associations with them, right? And when you get good at it, you can come to this point where it's like, oh, I need, the merchant you guys ran into today. My notes today was literally female cat merchant haggler, right? And that's a gift that has narrative implication, but also mechanical implication. If they're going to get into a conversation with her price, she gets a bonus D12. So like, I think that's really, really cool, but also sometimes it gets to the point where it's a little overwhelming. Like, oh, right, I forgot that zombies are immune to impaling damage. Oh, they're immune to slaying, but not to critical damage. Like, there's all these little things. So,
well, that sneaks in, and I argue that sneaks into anything. D&D has a list of vulnerabilities and resistances on the monsters. I just quoted one earlier.
Yeah, like in the Monday game I'm running right now, it's like I'm constantly checking, like, wait a second, did this thing have spell resistance? Was it immune or resistant to it? Does it have like fast healing? Did I forget that it have spells? Did I put those spells on them? I don't know anymore.
Sorry guys, we've been doing the damage for this encounter all wrong. It turns out the skeletons only took half as much damage from your archers because those are puncturing weapons and they're resistant to puncturing.
I had a palace full of bards to deal with.
Oh, did I not say that I had the boxing glove arrows?
What's good about this, though, what I really enjoy about our game, is that we've got Rafferty, got Theta, you guys are...
Got everybody.
We've got everybody, but I mean that we're playing with people who have a keen eye and a keen head for managing these rules and keeping them presence of mind. And like the alternative, what would happen if I was running this and I was the only person who really knew what was going on in the system, is I would forget one of these tiny detailed rules, and it ultimately ends up completely changing the texture of the game. Like when you realize things like Vengeful Fighter completely changes the way a zombie tactics should work. They become much deadlier when they approach
it says that
cautiously.
In the stat block right under their counter. I mean, I think part of it is it's kind of the Mother May I thing that bothers me about a lot of games. It's where people show up and the players, I don't know any rules. And then the GM is like, well, I'm supposed to know all of the rules.
Yes.
And the players say, I don't IDK, I just swing at it with my sword. And then the GM has to interpret that. And then the players never learn their rules.
Yeah.
And the GM never learns theirs. And then you get like Rafferty or Theta shows up saying, I've memorized the rule book. And then everyone standard
blames them for ruining their fun.
Yeah,
I got no problem being bad
rules. Why are you ruining our game with rules?
I've GM'd, you've GM'd, we've all GM'd. I'm trying to like be great with my character just so you never have to worry about how my character works.
Well, we're kind of reformatting.
I need to clip that. I need to clip that for the WWE Battle of the GMs.
I mean,
Raph versus, I forgot who it was now. Raph versus Red.
Well, the goal here, we all came with this with a positive attitude of we're learning rules. We like to know the rules because they enhance our knowledge of the game. Like when we show up in this bunch of zombies here, I still feel threatened. Like I have to emphasize this. Sometimes they worry if the players understand a threat, that means they're not threatened by it. And that's the thing I've discovered, that a lot of game masters, if I start quoting, like, well, it's a beholder, so it does ranged attacks. That goes off of our deck saves. So I'll be, make sure we do that. And some GMs will get intimidated going, oh my God, Rafferty knows the rules. Obviously they're not scared anymore. And it's like, no, I'm totally scared because any one of these failed rolls could totally fuck us up. Yeah. But, I'm here to give it a college try. If I was really afraid, I would leave.
See, my thing is that I care about all of my little NPC buddies here. So it's like, when you said they could get torn apart, I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I put my 2 bodyguards in the middle.
Right,
and it's a cute little thing Gar has going for him. Like, he actually cares about each person that's with him. They're not disposable elements.
Yeah, and we do care about our entourages. No, I mean, I care about them too. Like, I'm not... Notice my move was to focus. And what I've done in the past is I will suddenly jump in and shoot somebody who is about to attack another character, But this is all in the understanding of the rules. Because I know how the rules work, I can step back and wait for that moment to actually intervene and do something. And I can do it in the context of the rules. And that's one of the things... I mean, I just want to say I really enjoyed this because this was like, we had a good reveal, we had a social encounter, then we had a combat encounter. And even though the combat encounter was dealt with very quickly, it also, like the thing I want to point out is it establishes the threat. This is why I'm always railing against challenge rating, because the GM's going, well, I didn't kill 1/4 of their party. Obviously, they weren't challenged. Like, no, we were challenged. That could have gone south extremely quickly, and all it tells me is whatever is here is weaker than what's over there.
Yeah, these were non-violent farmer. These were pacifist farmer zombies.
Well,
this didn't need to be a combat encounter at all.
I really like the zombie. It's hilarious. I love it.
The thing is, the combat wasn't actually necessary. I agree with that, because the problem is that the threat is very much mental, in that we know that there's hundreds, maybe 1,000 zombies working the farms for acres around. So it's less, I don't care about these 5 zombies. It's more, I'm gonna drown in teeth and claws if I don't start moving and handle something now.
So no, I think we should, and the problem is my head is filled with all of the threats I know about, which means whatever is in there could be even worse than what I am thinking. But I know no fear. I serve with joy. It's like, what kind of hero am I if I wouldn't stand up against this evil?
I'm living with ignorance. I'm good. I have no idea what the hell to expect.
And the doctor's motto here is like, first do no harm, second get paid. So like, I'm constantly thinking like, so how can I turn this into a good scenario and not destroy all these town people and their lives, despite their terrible decision-making process?
You can just fight evil for the sake of fighting evil. This is always something that confuses me about gaming. People will jump all the hoops to justify their own evil behavior. It's like, hey, look, a thing that is, objectively evil. We could go destroy it. Like,
well, I mean, like that's the reason the Doctor is so nonchalant to the scenario. He's completely secure that if this had to come down to like blasting every zombie, he just is down for that. He's fine.
No, I really like the way that this is playing out.
I don't know if the Doctor is trying to be like the superhero protag, right? Everyone can be saved. Everyone.
A little bit. Like, I'm channeling, like, all of my inner altruism into this.
Well, I mean, these guys have committed a very large crime against your own belief system, so...
And that's true, but I like this idea that he's like, well, these villagers don't pose an immediate threat to us, and so if there is a better path, like, I like that, specifically with the Doctor, that he is not the best holy man, because orcomancy, right? Like, he understands you gotta break the rules every now and then, but what makes him a holy figure...
Books. That's my religion.
That's your religion. But what elevates him, what makes him worthy of sainthood, is maybe this idea everyone can be redeemed, if the time allows for it, you could, make the effort. And I think the situation is an interesting one, and it was specifically designed as such because... You could come at it and say this is a very clear issue of right and wrong, or you could come at it and say, like...
We could very easily do terrible things here if we want
to. I feel
who's
like
the villain,
if I was imagining the narrative now...
See,
here's the difference between when I run games and I'm trying to plot out a story, is that if I was running this, those villagers, what's her name, the librarian, would go back, they would talk to one another, we're heading off to danger, right? They would show up later to kill me, because... if the noble doesn't get back to town, they can't report that the disavowalment happened. This is the only way to save our town. This is the logic I would come up with because my storytelling is shit.
No. I don't think that's bad. And make no mistake, they are not your friends, especially after this happened. Right now, their means are limited because they're old people and you guys have a tiny army with you that all have swords. But if something changed, that's why when she said like, listen, you better watch out for my boss, literally her only recourse at this point, they can't stop you from doing whatever you want, either physically or legally. She's already resigned to the fact that her fate is entirely in your hands, but she knows some people that are even scarier than you, and she's just hoping that they're going to step in on her behalf so that she doesn't have to go to jail.
She said it herself, like, the only real rule here is use of force, and I'm wondering if you're going to have enough.
Well, one thing, I don't want to kill old people either. I would like to take them back, get them judged, and of course, the Delavega style...
executed for necromancy.
Yeah, of course, that's what I expect to happen. But, best case scenario, maybe the Doctor pulls something, and they're let go for incompetence or whatever. I don't know what reason they would. And I can
show up in 3 corners.
I know this horse lady who's trying to start a farm just south of Triskellion, who probably could use a little bit of help, but not too much. Look after this old retirees or whatever.
Oh, I like it. I want to point out that
best case scenario.
Yeah, I don't think anyone here is playing their character poorly or is like being an evil character. This especially is a very muddy moral situation, and I like muddy moral situations. I think everyone's doing an awesome job with it, so I'm all for it. I actually like Adris more and more play also, because every time I thought I had him pegged, he does something that changes it a little bit. This time I really liked that he was like believably freaked out by the undead. Like, he wasn't posturing, he was like, shit, we're surrounded. I thought that was really... I got
my laugh out of it for sure, but that is a perfectly reasonable reaction.
It is reasonable. It's perfectly reasonable.
We're not Harmons anymore, right?
Yeah,
I'm a regular dude hanging around with a bunch of pretty much regular dudes. It's like, this is our Tucker and Dale versus Evil moment. This isn't a I'm a super soldier, I can take everything. This is did you see that? What the fuck is that?
In the trees. Yeah, that was fantastic. So, we're running out of time. I think we did a pretty good debrief. But if anyone has anything to add, they can. Before that, I'll say I don't believe we completed any goals, but I think everyone knocked it out of the park with roleplay. So I would say 2 experience for everybody.
When I was out in the field setting up camp, I helped Sicario atone. I didn't tell you guys.
Yeah, he was having a hard time.
You know, if Sicario wants to atone, he can join us in our fight against evil.
Hey, maybe.
That way, even if he dies, we still get the reward.
Right? It doesn't say he has to survive, only that he has
to atone. Nothing like going down in a blaze of glory.
Right? That's definitely a possibility.
Yes, in our quest to kill as many old people as possible.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think the only person, I don't want Ark to be left out here. Ark, do you have anything debriefing you'd like to add?
Oh, no, I had a good session, and I enjoyed the game. It was pretty interesting, so I look forward to seeing what happens with this necromancer fight we've been letting stew for so long.
Me
so
too.
Let's see what happens.
I dread the one in the Rothos Mountains we'll eventually have to go back to.
I dread this one. This one raised almost the number keeps going up every time I think of it. It's like hundreds, hundreds, thousands, maybe 1,000. Thousands of people. This one has been raising 1,000 people, maybe.
Look, there's not many left.
Not only do I not know how many people it takes to farm, despite having 2 family members that own farms, Gar would not know how many people. The numbers are going to keep going up. It's a big story.
He's like, it's got to be like at least 300.
Well, I mean, when you guys are like, would you take care of it now? My sword and my gun are on you, so it's like, my God, I'm just imagining we're surrounded, and they're coming in. They're all coming in. We gotta kill the necromancer now before they get to us.
I like it. Yeah. My imagining too is that like all of these things have kind of been, all of these ritual sites have been percolating from around the same origin point. So the ones that we're coming across now have been percolating. So in my imagination, that's where things are getting more. That's how the challenge is going up, and the things are getting weirder. And I'm desperately trying to think of new and creative ways to incorporate necromancy.
Oh no, this is
stuff.
This is good.
So.
Yeah, I guess part of the question is, hey, so what is Lady Alamasan's goal? Other than just stirring up shit for fun.
It's a mystery.
Yep. But I mean, that would be the angle to think about it, like, as far as, like, storytelling.
Definitely. So, yeah. Okay, then. I think that's it for our game today. It's 2:00, at least on the East Coast. So, once again, I've been Red Rabbit, and you can find me. I think the URL is below, but to start playing games, if you want to book me for a game.
Actually, that's to start playing game. Is it games or game?
Crap, I don't know. Let me check. Not that it matters. I actually don't check this site as much as I should. I need to start actually.
Really, I'm getting emails from them all the time.
Yeah. Startplaying.games.
Games.
Oh,
it's a shame that I copied the thing that you sent me.
Yeah, that would be my bad. Let's see if that's the right URL or if that's just. Nope, that's right. Yeah, startplaying.games. That's what I get. Is Start Playing Game a different site then? Hold on.
No, it isn't.
You can steal any website name you want.
It is. Yeah. I just tried it.
Yeah, that one's not a real one.
I'm partially to blame for not trying the URLs people send me, but I have a long history of not trying URLs people send me.
That's okay. I take them for granted
too. Good history to continue.
That one's on me. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was me. Anybody else?
Hey, come see our games Sundays, Wednesdays, and our podcast Fridays.
Yeah, and also a big update coming because it's been a long time. But you guys, thankfully, you guys are my witnesses. The big, huge Book of Corals update is coming. I'm always such a gloomy guy. So, like, I want to be excited about it, but it's like there's always more mistakes to find. So we're gonna get the mistakes down to a minute, and then send this out because I'm pretty excited about it.
And might as well say that thing I said as a joke before. Know your role wrong. Come watch us next month when Rafferty fights Red Rabbit for best GM title.
There you go. Winner
Raph-
takes all.
Raph overcame all the past GMs, including myself, to earn the title shot, and Red beat all the current GMs. So,
Oh, is this really the prize fight match?
Yeah.
Been keeping up. I
new
need to.
title. We had all the
Wow.
GMs fight each other. All the current GMs in
Nice.
one match. All the past GMs in one match. Raph won the past GM shot, and you won the current GM shot.
So going back to our
There
old
will
joke, I will
be-
be the
No fail forwards in my arena.
I will be the best wrestler among game masters.
Strongest
Yeah.
GM in the wrestling club.
You brought it back her growth. There we
Oh
go.
my god.
It's gonna be hard to beat. It's gonna be hard to beat.
Okay, guys.
It's yours to lose.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just happy to come this far. It's an honor to be nominated.
Just happy on the title card.
Yeah, if whoever wins has to get that on their title, like on their under their portrait, current DM
Absolutely.
champion.
Yeah. There we go. I'll get a ribbon hanging up.
All right. So I guess an actual conclusion. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.